Hi, I'm Marilyn Foster here at West Metro, and we're continuing with our book club on day 33. We're going to be studying out of the chapter 5 of the book of Mark. And since our time is limited, we're going to talk about the woman with the issue of blood. And I'm going to read a few verses here. And it says, there was a certain woman in verse 25 that had a flow of blood for 12 years. She suffered many things from many physicians, and she spent all she had and was no better, but rather grew worse. And when she heard about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment, for she said, if only I can touch his clothes, I shall be made well. Immediately the fountain of the blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that affliction. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself the power had gone out of him, he turned around in the crowd and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said to him, you see the crowd thronging you, and you say, who touched me? And he looked around to see her who had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what had happened to her, came down and fell before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction. I wanted to point out some important parts of this because it really teaches us some things about our faith. First, it's talked about this lady had heard about Jesus. Romans 10:17 says, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So she'd heard about what Jesus had done, and when she heard that word, she believed it in her heart. That's the next thing about faith. When you hear something, you've got to believe it in your heart, and then you need to start to speak in line with it. It says, for she kept saying, the Amplified Bible says, she kept saying to herself, she kept saying, if I can just touch him, I'll be healed. If I can just touch his clothes, I know I'll be healed. And the third thing, she had to move. She had to move. And when she did and she touched his clothes, that brought the result to her. And power went out of Jesus, and it's such a powerful lesson. Faith moved her, and that moved Jesus, and the power came out of him. And you know, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. If we will do what this lady did, and reach out and touch Jesus with our faith, keep hearing that word, keep believing it, and moving in line with that, we'll get the same results that she did. I hope this lesson blessed you. It sure blesses me and charges my faith every time I read it. And be sure to like and subscribe after you listen to this. And God bless you.